Hi, it's Sandy Parker and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be learning how to sew on die cuts. I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, I cannot sew for the life of me, but I can hand stitch, and so I thought I would show you how to do this. Now, nice people at Globeland sent me a bunch of layered dies, and this is one set and this is another set. The reason I'm showing you the differences is, I don't know if you can see the tiny little circles on this versus the bigger holes on this one. They've got paper in them. Let me smack the paper out so that you can see what I'm talking about. There, can you see the big triangles there versus the smaller holes here? Anyway, I wanted to show you that because in case you've ever thought about how to stitch on a die, now you know it doesn't take any particular type of die to be able to do that. It just has to have holes somewhere in it. So I'm going to use, on this one I'm using a 5x7 card base, and I want to make sure I open it the right way. It opens like this. I've already stitched this. I don't know if you can see the brown stitching around the side of it, but I'm going to show you how to do it on the smaller piece, which is this one. I used a different stitching technique for this one, and all I did was I went from underneath, stitched over, and then stitched back through the same hole, and then went this way. And if you want me to, I'd be happy to show you that, but then I did it on the inner one too. So that was one system. You're going to use embroidery floss, and I used 3 strands. You might want to use more if you want a thicker image and you want a needle that has a really big hole so that you can get all that floss through there. And I don't know, can you see on this one how what the 3 look like? Anyway, you're going to see it now, secure and for good. What I did, I didn't want to make a knot, so I took a piece of tear tape and I just put it on the back of my die. You'll see this in a second. You want to really rub it in there, and then you're going to take your backing off. And then all I did was I took the very end of my floss and I put it in that, like that. Instead of making a knot, that's all I did. Okay? And then I'm going to start, well, I'm going to start up here. Now I'll start right there. I get confused about where I want to start. You're going to start like that. And then the easiest way to do it is kind of hold that one tight. And then you go under the next one. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this in frame and do this at the same time. And then you're going to keep it tight again. Go to the next hole. See, the reason you want to keep it tight is because it holds that image in place. Oh, I can't do that. As I said, I'm not the world's best seamstress. Okay. You just want to make sure that each one of these loops is on an angle. And you don't want to pull too tight, because if you pull it really tight, you're going to end up ripping your paper. You don't want to do that. And see how right now it looks fine, but if I keep pulling it, I'm going to end up having a knot right there. So you want to make sure that you don't get your string wrapped around itself. Like I said, it's easier if you can pull it out of your way. Like that. Keep pulling the floss with your finger underneath if you can. Now let's face it, if I can do this, anybody can. Okay. So you got the gist of it. Even when you go around these corners, you don't really have an issue as long as you keep your floss on the same angle. And I'm just trying to make sure that mine kind of bend to the, I'll say they bend to the right maybe. See, when you get them stuck together like that, all you have to do is just kind of wiggle them around until you get it. I'm going to finish this up, and then I'll come back when I'm at the end. So I'm right at the very end. I left my needle and thread loose so that you'd be able to see this. So my needle and my thread are on the outside, and I'm just going to put another piece of tear tape over that on the inside. Got rid of that string, and I'll use the tear tape to attach this. I am going to put foam on the back of this, so I have this thin foam tape. I'm just going to lay pieces. I got this from Amazon. It's very, very thin strips, and I like it for things where you don't want a lot of height, but you do want a little bit of height, like this. And I'm going to put a little piece right there. Keep in mind, you don't want to have it over any of those holes because you'll see it through the holes. I'm just kind of layering long strip, thin strip, long strip, thin strip. You get the gist. And then I'm going to put this one kind of angled down in there. Then I used a die that's a layered die that says thanks. I used this material on the back, and I used a green on the front, and I'm going to attach it to this. Of course, I should have done that before now, but I didn't. So I'm going to put, I think I'm going to layer this piece on first. I think I'm going to put something down here too. I don't know what. Maybe some ribbon or a bow or something. I'm using tacky glue because I can't figure out what I did with my other glue. And it really takes a lot to get it to come out of the bottle. You have to really put the big squeeze on it. You'd never be able to put this in a fine tip applicator bottle, that's for sure. When they say tacky, they're not kidding. I'm trying to get close to the edge in some of these areas. Let's put this kind of close to the top. I think I'm going to end up having it like this. And then I'm going to put this piece in the center of that. And then we're going to put our thanks in the middle. And as I said, I'm going to get some ribbon or something, ribbon-ish, ribbon adjacent. Okay, there's thanks. Then let's get a ribbon. How's that hit you? Then I think I'm going to just lay these two brown ones side by side here and maybe put some sequins on it. I doubt it. Or not sequins, those little, I have some little brown pieces. It's a little bit damp because I had a curve in it that I didn't like, so I put a little water on it so that discoloration isn't really discoloration, it's just me being crazy. I got these new scissors, they're kind of crazy, but none of my scissors were cutting ribbon, and I was hoping these great big bammers would do it. So far they do a great job, it's just they're bigger than I thought they would be, and they're kind of overwhelming, if you know what I'm saying. Alright, let me see if I can find some of those little teeny tiny ones that we can put in this gold color. There. Why that one only wants to stay in one spot, why wouldn't it? And maybe I'll put some down in here. And I'm not sure if I should outline the thanks with a pen or something. Maybe a gel pen.
There's no gravity that sucked me in your orbit. There's no magnet that was in your heart. The one restriction was the friction.
So there you have it. If you've ever wondered how you can stitch dies, now you know. It's not that hard to do, and it's kind of fun. It does take a little while. You have to be patient because, like I said, it took me a while to do that, and I just don't want you to think that it's going to be a 2-second project and then you're done, because it's not. It's more than that. So I hope you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.